What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Rex Righteous, and I'm back with another rap rant. Alright, so it was an incredible event tonight. March 18th, boxing became real tonight, man. Holy crap. If you didn't enjoy tonight's fights, man, then I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. Also, shout out to the Dominican team. We lost tonight. So it was definitely a night of controversy, and it's looking like sports is becoming unpredictable again, and that's always awesome. To tell you much about tonight's fights and what was going on, um, I don't have much to say about every single fight because I wasn't paying that much close attention, and I wasn't really looking forward to the Cuadras fight as much as Roman and Triple G versus Jacobs. Now, to say quickly, I really felt like the Roman fight was, at the most, I would say, is a draw because the fight was very close. The headbutts is like, uh, yeah, I think that was a little bit of Roman's fault too, because he fights like that too. He puts his head down, and sometimes he doesn't see what he's doing, and he's looking at feet, and he's moving as soon as the guy swings or whatever. So, I like Roman and Gonzalez a lot, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to throw shade at him, but I feel like some of that stuff happened because he's just not fit for 115. Uh, some people are coming out and saying that he's not a pound for pound fighter. I don't agree with that. Or he never was. I don't agree with that. I feel like him moving up was the ultimate test, and I feel like you guys just never gave him the credit. You always just made it seem like, oh well, he's moving up and he's a champion, but that still doesn't mean he's a pound for pound. No, he is a pound for pound. He was moving up. He was fighting champions. He was defending his title. That was his thing. So, just give him his credit. He probably won't be pound for pound number one anymore, but that doesn't mean that he's not a champion, that he didn't do the utmost impossible, to become, what he was pound for pound number one. You know what I'm saying? He's coming from another country and he's trying to win just like every other boxer out there. And then number two, he was knocking people out for a while. So, let's not forget that. Stop hating on the man. Let's at least respect him. Because at the end of the day, he lost this fight, and it's not his fault. He's still a great fighter. He's still the man. I think he's still a dope fighter. Literally, Alexis Aguero 2.0. He's just got to find his place in the sport again. And I don't feel like 115 is the place for him. But if he's got another gear in him, then so be it. If he doesn't, then no, don't do it, because that's what I'm saying, is that I think he lost because he doesn't feel like he has another gear in him. The Carlos Cuadras fight was not a gift, but still it was very close to being one, and you don't want that. And if you feel that in the back of your head, and you had an off night, then nobody's gonna judge you. If you go back, or if you start taking catch weights. But let's see what happens with Roman. I really look out. I really think we should commend him for everything he's done, and that's it. Much respects to Roman and his team. Triple G versus Jacobs. That was a very close fight. Very close fight. I could see how some people are being objective on Jacobs on how they thought he won. There's a lot of controversy. People saying that it should have been for Jacobs. I feel like it was for Triple G. Some people know that I'm a huge Triple G fan. I love Triple G. I love Manny Pacquiao. Those are my favorite fighters. But I feel like, honestly, Triple G edged it out, and I feel like he did enough to win the fight. He won the championship rounds. I feel like also where a lot of people part ways is the first rounds. If you don't got the first few rounds for Triple G, then that's where everyone parts ways, because those first rounds is what makes the fight. And then on top of that, you got that knockdown. So if you're not cutting the knockdown, then you're definitely not caring about who won. You just feel like Jacobs won, or you feel like Triple G won. But to be fair, I feel like the last few rounds and then the first few rounds went to Triple G. The middle rounds were some tosses, but then most of them were Jacobs. Now I feel like people are over exaggerating with Jacobs, and it's not to say that he sucks. I'm not saying that he sucks, but the thing is for me is that I wasn't a believer at first. And then when I started seeing what type of punches he was putting together, I was like, okay, I see what you're doing. Some of them he was jumping into Triple G, so it made him look like he was trying to knock Triple G out. And he was trying to knock him down, he was trying to hurt him. But there was a lot of times that Triple G wasn't hurt. There are some guys like Michael Montero that was actually at the fight that said that Triple G was hurt. I didn't see him hurt in the fight. I didn't see him hurt on TV. I'm not discrediting him. I know that he has more experience in the game, but I didn't see him too hurt. And I felt like the position that Jacobs had made him look like he was doing a lot more. He was definitely more athletic, moving around a lot more than Triple G. I expected more out of Triple G with the jab, and he really never got to get on pace with what he usually does. So that's why a lot of people thought that Jacobs won the fight, in my opinion. Um, Obviously, with the punch stat, you can obviously see that Triple G landed more. So that's what it comes down to, is the point system. Who was landing more, who was hitting more, who was hitting at the right times, who hurt each other more. I feel like Triple G hurt Jacobs more. That's my opinion, though. He hit him to the body. Some people said that they didn't see anything go to the body, but I did. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that I saw. Now, of course, my prediction was not really much because, like I said, I thought that the fight was going to be close. I thought it was a 60-40 type of fight. I thought that Jacobs had a chance, and I knew that if he moved around and he switched it up on Triple G, he could do something. But I really, really felt that Triple G was not gonna let go of that jab, and he did, man. He really did. I was so shocked about that. There were times that I felt like he could lose the fight. I thought that they could go to the judges and they could, make it maybe a split decision, but I never saw him losing ultimately. But I felt like if Jacobs would have turned it up one more gear, he could have knocked him down or hurt him or knocked him out, and it would have changed the landscape. You know what I'm saying? And that would have been everything. And that's what I told the guys that were rooting for Jacobs, or that saw that Jacobs was doing a lot, or they thought he won. I was like, man, why didn't you just feel like Jacobs should have knocked him out? I mean, at the end of the day, yes, he got close, but he is not the champion. He has his own title, granted, but Triple G is the champion. You know what I'm saying? And it was a very close fight. I'm sure it was very hard for the judges to judge. This is Jacobs' backyard. You know what I'm saying? And this is Triple G's. He's the draw. He's the one that's bringing in all the money, and he's the favorite. I mean, he was 1-8. You literally had to freaking bet $800 so you could get some money back. Out of Triple G or whatever the hell was 8-1 or something like that. So that's why I felt like it's ridiculous. The whole thing is just crazy. It was very much closer than a lot of people thought, and I had a 60-40. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't thinking that Jacobs was gonna come in looking soft. I thought he was gonna come in, ready to wreck stuff. And to be honest with you, when it came to those middle rounds, he started walking through a little bit of what Triple G was giving him, and he was actually turning up. He wanted to turn up, but bro, I felt like this is where the mistake was happening. Jacobs had another gear, and he didn't take it. He didn't go there. And I'm not gonna lie though, Triple G also had another gear, and he didn't go there. They were both afraid of each other's power. They were very wary of each other, very careful of each other's power. And I feel like Jacobs is that kind of fighter where he brings that out of you. Now, I don't see much improvement from Triple G. I don't see much of a downer. Like he didn't. I don't feel like he went down, but I just feel like he showed a little age, and I feel like he kind of let his foot off the pedal a little bit with all these interviews and things that are going on in his life or whatever. He's the champ and he's trying to move on. So maybe he took his eyes off the prize a little bit. Either way, whatever the case may be, I feel like we should do it old school style and let Lemieux and Jacobs fight for that rematch because they both want it. You know what I'm saying? And this will make Jacobs stock go up higher. You know what I'm saying? His stock went up higher, a la Michael Montero once again. And you know, let him face some champions. Let him see. Let's see what happens. You know, let's mix it up. Let's mix the bag up. You know, and then whoever wins gets to wait for the winner of Canelo versus Triple G, and that's it. Put him up there. You know, don't put him in the back burner. You know, because Jacob said at the end of the fight that he was X'd out. I don't think he should be X'd out, but at the same time, he should still fight. Don't think that you're not gonna get a rematch. You know, this is not some other guys. You know, some people want that rematch, and if you're comparing it to Kovalev and Ward, trust me, I'm there with you. You know what I'm saying? But some people, they just don't see it that way. They just think that that Jacobs deserves the W just because, all because he's everybody bet against him. It looked like he was never going to win that fight before he even got in the ring, and he proved a bunch of people wrong. So what? So we gift wrap him a win. I don't see it like that. What how are you guys gonna just disapprove or ignore the knockdown? You know what I'm saying? How are you gonna disapprove the fact that Jacobs was hurt and with his back against the ropes? Can you put yourself in that position? As I say again, I always say this. I'm not an expert in the sport, but it's easy to see. The guy's back was against the ropes the whole time, and every time he hit him, he was jumping around like Super Mario. You know what I'm saying? And Triple G was landing off of his foot, off the back foot, but still, staying put, not jumping around and running around and trying to dodge punches so much. He was trying to go in and finish him. And that's how I like fighters to be. Whatever your style may be, at least you going in for the kill every single time, every round, not messing around. And that's what I felt like. Jacobs messed around so much that he screwed himself and the whole game plan went to hell. That plan would have been clean without the knockdown. One of my friends asked me that. How would it be if Jacobs never got knocked down? Well, at this point, it's irrelevant. I'm not gonna judge it like that. That's stupid. You judge it like that. But to me, in my opinion, my thing is that the fact is, he got knocked down. So you gotta own up to it. You gotta score from that, and you gotta move on. And you gotta show up, and that's what he should have done. And that's my take. If you have it for Jacobs, I'm not gonna argue with you. I don't feel like that's worth arguing because it was a close fight. Let me know what was your scorecard like. I had a 115, 112 for Triple G. I had the last 2 rounds for Triple G. I had the first 2 to 3 rounds for Triple G as well, plus the knockdown. And I see it as impossible to have 7 rounds for Jacobs. Impossible. Just not even close. And talking about 7 rounds clean, I don't see that. I hope you're still here, people that like to argue with me and stuff like that, because like I said, I'm a Triple G fan, but I like to be objective as well. You know what I'm saying? 7 rounds clean. That's what you're hanging your hat on? Like, for real. So, if they were to fight again, I really don't know what would happen unless Triple G switches it up and goes back to his old game plan, how he does, like he usually does with the jab and everything. But, I feel like he deserves a rematch, but not ASAP. And if they make it ASAP, I'm not going to be mad at that either. So, yeah, much props to Jacobs. He brought it. He really showed up, and he didn't embarrass himself in his backyard. Props to him. But that's something that he's supposed to do as well. So don't get it twisted, That's just me, in my opinion. He's not supposed to get knocked out in his hometown. That would have been super embarrassing. So he did what he was supposed to do. He put himself back on the map, and this basically reversed what happened to him versus Parag. And now he's back on the map. He's showing that he's hungry. So, hopefully he gets what he deserves. I really feel like he should get a match versus Lemieux, or yeah, he should get a fight versus Lemieux. I don't see why not. You know what I'm saying? I don't see why not at all. But this is my take. 115, 112 for Triple G. Another one bites the dust. No knockout. So much respect to Jacobs. Strong chin. He brought it. People thought he had a soft chin, but he brought it. So there it is, man. What do you guys think? What happens after this fight? Billy Joe Saunders is next, something like that, or Canelo. All right, man. Let's keep boxing alive. Peace.